My name is Lane McNab, and I'm an interior designer out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I have my own firm here. I've been a designer for going on 15 years now. And about 5 years ago, I designed and launched my own furniture line. And a lot of that was motivated, as I'm sure it is for many designers. I was searching for pieces that were just sort of that sort of look and feel or particular function or maybe the craftsmanship that I was wanting and just was struggling to find, which is kind of crazy because I know the industry has so much to offer. But I think we all know that feeling of just being on the hunt and just not finding the quite right thing. So I was designing some pieces for clients, and over the years, I had developed so many great partnerships and relationships with workrooms and craftspeople, and started realizing that some of the pieces I was designing were kind of scratching an itch for a lot of clients, and then starting to for designers as well. I was getting some feedback about them that was positive. So I sat down and within like a week just fully drew out, like hand drafted the furniture of the initial offering of the line, which is most of the pieces we're going to see today. And I don't know. I feel like probably like so many of us in the design industry, it had probably been welling up for a number of years, and then it just all kind of flooded out. And then that was kind of the weirdly, that was kind of the easy part. And then the hard part has been ramping up into production. And we're obviously a small batch production, and it took probably 2 years of really exploring. I worked with consultants. I worked with prototyping and developing the details of each piece, developing the finishes, etc., the whole thing, and standardizing all of it, and then developing really great, some new partnerships with new workrooms based on what I felt we needed for capacity. And based on that first round of prototyping, we were signed pretty much immediately with Sloan Miyasato in San Francisco, and that was really the launching point. We were with Sloan for about 5 years, and then we've moved partnerships to Studio RSH in San Francisco, and we've expanded across the country now with McGeough in Boston and Paul Plus in Atlanta, and and then Studio RSH in Southern California as well. And then we also sell, if there isn't a showroom near you, we sell directly to the trade. So we are trade only, of course. But that's sort of how everything started. And the aesthetics of the line are very sculptural, grounded in nature, but kind of marrying it with traditional pieces. And you'll see that as I talk through the core foundational pieces of the line, and then three principles that were sort of how I proceeded with designing and cultivating production partners, which are very high quality, like solid wood materials, all the upholstery, eight-way hand-tie construction, no plywood, no glues, everything is solid wood frames. Um, Everything like the steel springs are recycled steel.
Lane, what would you
Yeah.
say was the impetus, like the final straw thing that you said, I am doing this thing? The moment you have that aha moment that happened while you were getting started, because I feel like everyone on this call maybe has had that moment that but then maybe didn't find that time to go build a furniture company. So what was it? What was the final straw?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I had been thinking about it for a while, and then was at one of my show, I mean, sorry, my production partners, one of my work rooms, talking about a piece we were doing for a client. And it came up and they said, we would love to partner with you on this. And I was like, oh, awesome. I didn't realize I was just waiting for like someone to sort of say that, honestly. And so then I sat down and made it really serious. I tend to, I don't know if other people do this, but I tend to talk about an idea I'm having for a while before I sort of like feel like it kind of helps me get comfortable with it and then just proceed with launching it. And I'm a big believer in don't know too much about something before you do it, which sounds weird, I guess, but I think the more we sort of sit in analysis paralysis, the more fear we build up. And so sometimes I like to just go for it.
I
So
love
that's,
that. I feel like that's true with so many things. I mean,
yeah,
just for anyone, I feel like we have these ideas, and there's sometimes like, not enough time, taking the risk. So for you, it was really somebody else believing in you and saying, do it, right? I mean, I
yeah.
guess that was kind of it, right? You had this idea, and I think that's great. I mean, I really do feel when I look at the furniture in the spaces, and for anyone wondering, our relationship, Lane and I, we work together on our marketing, and I'm continually inspired the way these pieces just feel at home in all the projects. So you really does look like, it came from, your creative DNA per se. So
Thank
I
you.
feel,
Thank you.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of people that believe in the same principles that you do, sustainability, natural textures, just really kind of bringing to life the details in a room. So, yeah, I'm excited to get started and see what
Yeah,
for us.
me
Here's,
too. Thank you.
did anybody have any more
I'll just
questions?
say one final thing, which is probably
Yeah.
really important for designers. The third principle, so it was really intense quality, sustainability, which we don't necessarily tout that a lot, but it is just an inherent part of how we source our materials and how things are produced. And the final piece is customization. So all of the pieces that you see here will be in mostly their standard offerings, but we have built all of these pieces in things that I'm just like always amazed at what designers come up with. We've done the monument dining table as like a big marble table for a commercial project. So it's just all kinds of things. So if you have an idea, if you're inspired by something that you see in the line, but you need it a little bit differently, done a little bit differently, just let us know and we'll work with you. We do shop drawings and work to get it the way you want it for your clients.
I love to see the different upholstery pieces when people work with you, just like how people reimagine the pieces in their own aesthetic. It's really cool to see. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, here's our heirlooms for a new era. I love that.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I love that. Explain that for us.
I grew up surrounded by antiques. I grew up in my grandmother's home and all of her antiques from like her grandmother, and I love that feeling. Um, I do feel like a lot of us are also trying to create our own homes and create our own generational legacies of like pieces that we're creating for our families. And these are pieces that you are going to pass down. They're not going to end up in a landfill. And that was done intentionally because I don't want anything to be thrown out. You may refinish them at some point, 25 years from now, or you may recover that sofa when the fabric gives out, but you're not going to have to just like throw it out and get a new one. So that's the heirlooms for a new era.
I love that. And there's a group, the Vacation Rental Summit, Vacation Rental Designers, and they were just saying that this is also happening in rental spaces because people want to feel that they're in a home that's really attended to, cared for, and the better quality materials last. So even if you're in a rental space, it lasts. So, all right,
Right.
let's move through, talk a little bit about the actual pieces.
Yeah, we can keep going. I think this is the three principles, founding principles.
Here we are. This is, I mean, luxury
Yeah.
here.
The manta bed was the first piece I designed, and it's probably the heart of the line. It's true. I designed it. I was inspired by, I went swimming with manta rays off the coast of Hawaii several years ago. And for anyone who's been up close with a manta ray, they're so huge. And you can see the shape of the headboard and the posts at the back look like a manta ray's head. Um, but I took that sort of natural inspiration and just wanted intense luxury from this bed. I wanted to cover all the things that I ever wanted from having a luxurious experience with interacting with where you sleep every night. And so it has things like the very tall posts with the taper going up and down, and the brass ferrules and caps are are made of solid brass. And in fact, I have one right here. So they're solid brass all the way through, no plating,
Lovely.
completely hand turned solid brass, and they carry the taper as well. So the radius is, taller or smaller at the bottom, and they are unlacquered. They will have a beautiful. This one is probably about 5 years old, so it'll get a natural patina over time. Um, and then the finish, I can't remember which finish that one is on that bed. It might be this dark walnut, but all of the finishes were probably the hardest to really took us a few passes to get the finishes right. But we offer two types of finishes. These are our standard finishes, finished in a water-based polyurethane. And then we also have natural finishes that are finished in actually in an edible, completely non-toxic finish. If you have clients who are wanting that, the polyurethane is non-toxic once it cures, and it's very minimally uh, toxic at all. But so anyway, that bed, you can see the back of the headboard is sort of a pillow-topped headboard. It's a little bit overstuffed. Not only does it look like a manta ray's head, but it also looks like a an overstuffed pillow, like a grandma's feather bed kind of pillow.
Yeah.
And the most important piece for me, as a slightly sometimes clumsy person, is that the side rails and the foot rail are upholstered and padded and wrapped in inset leather. And so every time you're getting in and out of that bed, you're not touching a hard surface, you're touching a soft, upholstered, um, really comfortable, kind of luxurious surface. And that was important. As someone who's hit her shins many times.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk about like understanding how your clients live, right? Like these are our own
Yeah.
experiences. Francisco, welcome. You're free to, I just want to let you know we're run. Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Sorry, I was just running out. I was walking the dog, but hi.
Oh yeah, no,
Hi, welcome.
we're very lax here. Lane just talked a little bit about how she got her beginnings and how the idea came from something that she had for a while, and someone said that she should go for it, and she did, and really how, she wasn't finding things and that, supported what she was looking for projects and what her clients were looking for. And then now we're at our first piece, which is the manta bed, which if you can
Yes.
imagine what it's inspired by, want to give it a guess?
The manta ray.
Yes.
Yay!
So her swimming in Hawaii with the manta rays. So she talked a little bit about this. And so yeah, so thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free either to just interrupt, put it in chat. You can, however, whatever works for you.
Of course.
All right.
Awesome. Welcome.
Anybody have any
Hi.
questions to this point? And where are you from, Francesco?
I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Oh, perfect. Great.
Yes,
Welcome. So if anybody has any questions, please do interrupt us. And it's, again, super casual. We're just having fun here, looking at beautiful pieces. All right, here is your manta bed.
So this shows some different customized versions of the Manta bed. We did one with no posts for a loft space in Oakland, and or the lowered posts, and love it. Think it's beautiful. And then this one just shows it in a different finish. I think this one's white oak. We offer everything in walnut and white oak with the different finishes. So
Now,
yeah.
Lane, tell us the first time you installed this piece in a client's space. Give us a little bit about that experience.
Well, it's a very dramatic piece. I mean, it is very, it looks amazing with vaulted ceilings and in a king size. And we can also, if you'd like to extend the taper, if you have a very high ceiling and you want those posts even taller, that's doable. It's just it's a dramatic showstopper. It really is. And I highly, highly recommend any designer who can go see it in the showroom to go do it and just experience it. Everything is custom COM or COL. So any leather, we did this for a designer, I think in New York, where they did a green leather, like a
Oh,
very
wow.
dark green, like kind of forest green leather on the side rails and the foot rail and in a very dark, I think our espresso finish is just
Love,
it's just gorgeous. So
love the
it can be
customization.
reimagined in anything that, to fit any space. The one on the right is a little more traditional, a little, the finish is a little more casual, or you can go, dark and black and luxe and velvet. I mean,
I
it's
feel
really
like now you remind me. So, for anyone on this call that does not know, Lane was an opera singer as another part of her life. And I feel like this is also your opera moment, feeling the high ceilings, the drama on the piece. I feel like yeah, I could see it.
We
So,
call those in opera, that's when you hit that like amazing like moment. It's called the money note.
oh, yeah, this is your money note. The man to bet is your money note. All right. Oh, this is lovely, lovely. Please tell us a little bit about this
So
coffee.
this is the coffee table, one of the coffee tables we offer. It's the canoe, and it's inspired by dugout canoes. I grew up in the Southeast for all the people joining from the Southeast right now in the Atlanta area. I grew up in Northern Florida, and I visit the South a lot. And I went to college there, and this is inspired by the dugout canoes that are in like every museum that you visit as a kid growing up, learning about the history of the Southeast. And you can see that bowl kind of shape of the tabletop and bottom is that's what inspired the name. So, and then there's I have a lot of historical, sort of prehistorical um, references like totems and kind of those very impactful geometric images that sort of resonate deeply with something that we don't always even consciously think about. But that is definitely also a part of the inspiration for the line. So this is a canoe coffee table. We can do it in a square, a rectangle, round, oval. We've done this in dining tables and or we're working on a design for it in a dining table. I think we've done it as a console table, and we can customize the size and all of it. So.
I'd love to hear from, and you could either interrupt us or put it in chat again. I'd love to hear how many of you are customizing pieces for your clients. Is this something that, because I have heard it is more and more becoming something people are getting educated on and interested in. So if you want to share any of your own stories about that, please do share.
I'll also say that the customization serves the other principle of sustainability because if we can customize something so that's really how people want it to be, then it's going to be that much more special to them and that much
Mm.
more a part of something that they want to hold on to and keep because it's going to work so perfectly for the vision of their home.
That's a really good point. Like these stories that you're passing down through your designs, someone's going to have a connection in some way that on their own, whether it's that trip to Hawaii and experience they had in nature, or like you said, living on the West Coast. I mean, I think that really, really does hit that like emotional side that we have when we connect to something in our home, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think the forms resonate with something much deeper than we can often verbalize.
Sure.
And not saying, but I didn't create the forms, I just reinterpreted them. But I'm just saying that inspiration for those
Yeah.
for them is something that resonates often a little more deeply. And also, I want them to be that transition. So some of them are much more contemporary, but a lot of them, because they take their inspiration from nature, or sometimes, which you'll see in some other pieces, from traditional pieces like the antiques that we may have collected, they also bridge that gap between contemporary and traditional. This is the canoe console table. Again, that sort of rounded dugout canoe shape was the inspiration. And I have an antique rice bench in my home, and it's very much a kind of references that form. You can sort of see the Asian influence in this piece, which was such a an impact or such an influence in antiques from 150, 200 years ago as well.
Yeah, that's fabulous. I mean, just the shapes, like you want to touch everything too. I feel like that's so important. Like you want to run your hands along this table.
Yeah, I didn't want, as we probably all know, I didn't want any of the pieces to have that feeling of being overly lacquered or overly sealed, unless, I mean, there may be a time where I develop a piece that that's the intention behind it, but
Mhm.
I want the feeling to be like you actually sense the wood when you're touching, these pieces, and that they're that part of it, that the living part of it is still a part of your experience of it.
We have a question from Carmen. Carmen said the pieces are lovely, and she wants to know what are your lead times on case goods? Right.
Our case goods, oh, everything's made in the US. In fact, everything's made in California. We may eventually expand production, but right now everything's made in California. Our case good lead times are, I think, 6 to 8 weeks. So some stuff we do have in stock as well. If there's a piece you want that's just a standard offering, some of our tables, which you'll see more of, our small side tables, we do have in stock. So those might ship out within a couple weeks. Um, but if something's being custom made, once let's say it's an upholstered piece, upholstery's 10 weeks, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. So once we receive the fabric, it goes into production and it's 10 to 12 weeks turnaround for upholstery. Case goods are 6 weeks, right? 4 to 6 or 6 to 8. Yeah, 6 to 8. So pretty fast for current lead times. I mean, we often get, I mean, right now we're placing some orders that are 16 to 18 weeks. Um,
Yeah, from other suppliers, right? So,
yeah.
right. Does any other questions, Carmen? Feel free to just interrupt us. All right. Just moving through.
Yeah. This is the Heart sofa.
Wait a
So,
minute. Let me
yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Great. This is the Heart sofa. We have a couple of sofas. This is probably our most popular, most versatile. We've done this in a sectional. We've done it in with a chaise, all kinds of. I think we've done this in a rounded sofa. It was inspired by snowdrifts. If you actually go to the next slide, you'll see it from the side. Everything's kind of got natural, organic lines to it. Um, yeah, that sort of sloping arch there, and little details everywhere. We can do it with piping, without piping, but those little tiny pleats at the edge of the front arm of the sofa are just like a lovely little tailored detail that I just love. And then the other thing about this, oh, this piece was inspired by snowdrifts mixed with an English roll arm, but I just wanted to tone it down a little bit so it wouldn't be, I know an English roll arm is a subtle sort of version of a roll arm, but I wanted to pull it back just a little bit more. So it's just like the hint of one. Um, and it's a super, I actually have this sofa in my house. It's so comfortable. Again, all 8-way hand tie construction. We can customize the fill. I prefer a foam and Dacron wrapped bench seat with 90-10 down cushions at the back for being able to fluff them, but we can do whatever people want. We can actually even do it if you have someone who really wants complete, no, like all natural materials. We can stuff the cushions with wool. I would want to talk to you about the implications of doing that, but our workroom does have those sustainability practices. And so if that's something that someone prefers, we can do that.
That's great. Um, Anything else, Lane, as far as like, so you obviously thought up this one. Why were you thinking up this design? What weren't you finding? I mean, obviously it's gorgeous, the little touches like the pleats. What weren't you finding though? What was the first thing that came to mind when
I,
you
I tend to, I guess my own personal taste tends to live in that in between of like traditional and contemporary. Um, I love things to be timeless, and that's what I was going for. I like soft lines. I mean, for those of you who do production with workrooms, you'll know how hard it is to do rounded curves on solid wood frame pieces. And pushing my workroom to kind of get these soft, subtle slopes and rounded corners took a lot of back and forth. But I feel like that is such an important part of what I was going for. I feel like there are a lot of very masculine sofas out there that are contemporary. You know, everything is like a track arm and a flat back. And I just wanted something that was slightly softer, slightly more feminine, slightly more rounded and inviting without being too of the moment of that bit, everything's got big rounded curves and big bold almost like the 70s kind of curviness
Mhm.
that's very popular right now. I just want something like a little more subtle and timeless is mostly what I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just this is looks like a very lo it looks like the family sofa that you would want to sit in all day and enjoy, but yet it has a sophistication where it looks great as just like a piece that is a showcase, a showstopper when you walk in. And I find
Thank
that
you.
that's hard to find.
Yes, you actually reminded me, Jen, that elevating sort of what we often see out there, but doing a little bit of elevating to all of these forms was a big part of it too. And if on the sofa, it's hard to see in the photographs, but there's a base piece of walnut or oak that runs at the bottom front of the sofa. Um,
Yeah, hard to. Oh,
it's back up. Yeah, right there. So at the very bottom, and we can customize the finish of that too. But it's just these little
wow.
subtle
Yeah.
touches. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you enjoy talking one-on-one? So what's the process if a designer, they'll come right to you and you have that one-on-one consultation if they want something more custom, or do they go into the showroom? Like you have these great
Yeah.
showroom partners that we're going to talk
Go to
about.
the showroom, talk to the rep, then we have a customization form that you can fill out, and then we'll start talking about, like, if it's something pretty dramatically different, we'll have some back and forth, either with the showroom or with the designer, and then do some shop drawings for sign off, typical for, custom production.
All right. Next, we have the Rebecca chair.
I think this was the second piece I designed. This was taken from the marriage of two inspirations. One, a very classic English wingback chair, and the second one being sort of an opening of a flower. So streamlined the typical sort of hallmarks of a wingback and just made them really subtle and more graceful, a little maybe slightly more feminine and then just a little more sort of natural. I have two of these in my house and I think it's the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in, and I'm that I owe a lot to my production partners for helping me get to that point with this chair. And simultaneously, this chair fits anywhere. You can see the width and the depth are about 30 inches. And as a designer, I'm always looking for that chair that'll be comfortable but fit in that hard spot where you need a piece, but it can't take up too much room. This chair also has this really lovely curve to the back, so you could float it in the middle of a room. It also tucks nicely into a corner. It's probably the most versatile piece that we have. And my favorite quote that I will always say when I am showing this chair is a designer, when I was showing it at a showroom or doing a talk about it at a showroom a couple years ago, sat in it and she gasped and she went, "It's like sitting in my mother's lap." And I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. So I will always, always say that. But yeah, I love, oh, and so a little sort of touch of whimsy, I guess. I don't love the word whimsy, but like a little whimsical touch are the legs. So those are solid wood. They're hand turned by our carpenter. He actually has his own prototype that he keeps where he's marked out, the lathe where it all goes, and he spins it and just hand turns it with a chisel. It's amazing. I have videos, I think, of him doing it up on the website for Guild by LMI, and then those are available in our custom finishes too. We do also offer it into we'll customize the legs though. We've had people just do a straight tapered leg. So whatever a designer wants, or a client wants. That single seam across the back is also my sort of contemporary or transitional take on a tufting. I didn't want to do a tufting here, so we just did that little quiet seam, which I love. And anyway, we'll do it in a swivel. We can do a drum swivel, which is what the chairs, I have the version of this in my home that I have are drum swivels, or we can do a skirted swivel, or we can just do it skirted with no swivel. So lots of options.
Great. All right, here's it in its space. I
Yeah,
think we have
there
a
it is on
video here
the
too.
side view.
There's our swivel.
Yeah, that's a designer did that in the skirted swivel. So it's,
Beautiful.
yeah.
The monument dining table.
Yes, one of my other favorite pieces. So this one, as you can see, the monument's sort of referencing the sort of totem impact of the pedestal. And everything on here is solid wood, completely solid wood, and handmade and hand finished. And this table we've done in so many versions, I don't even know. We offer two standard pedestal shapes, this one and then one that's a little more sparse. But we'll customize it fully. We do the basic monument, which is a single pedestal, and then the grand monument, which is a double pedestal. We'll do them in ovals, rectangles, vast, whatever sizes. We've done it with a marble top, which was gorgeous for that commercial project. Um, all kinds. So we'll work with you to sort of help you get the vision you're looking for.
Now, when you designed this piece and you worked with your shop, like what were were there any moments when they were like, yes, no, that's not happening? And then you kind of, then
Oh,
it,
many.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Prototyping. I mean, I was talking to someone yesterday and we were saying like, oh, it's like pregnancy and childbirth. Like it's just like you go through this whole process, except it's more than 9 months. Like you go through this whole process of like, creating this, and it's like the struggle. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this beautiful piece is living out in the world now. And yes, there were times where I believe initially getting that ratio between the top and the base, at the very bottom of the pedestal is always tricky. Getting the sort of natural slope and slight curve that I wanted on the base while simultaneously maintaining the integrity of the structure was really hard. For the marble top that we did, we actually had to engineer a steel frame to go inside of it to support the weight of the marble. And also because they did it in bar height. So it was a very tall version of this table done very long. And then to ensure that it was safe, we had to add that steel engineering to that and have it dropped inside the pedestal. And then it ended up getting bolted to the floor since it's a commercial, like heavy use space. But so yes, we lots of that, lots of
If
that on
you
the
were
back.
to give a little advice to anyone who would be thinking about getting into furniture, designing furniture, what is one piece of advice for that prototyping stage, or even before that? Like just one little like,
Really develop the designs first and talk to your production partners a lot before you go into prototyping. And really like be so kind to them and just appreciate their expertise and show them like how much their insight means to you, and then really work in partnership with them, and and then do a prototype in an inexpensive wood. For case goods, start out prototyping in the cheapest wood you can get,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
just on a practicality level.
Here's some
Yeah.
more monument table. This is just, I mean, just so beautiful. I love
Yeah.
wood
Thank
on
you.
wood.
I just love seeing, I mean, you can see this at the base of that pedestal, the close up. You can see how the way the wood is um, carved or hand lathed, how it exposes the grain in this like beautiful
Yes.
way. So every piece is different. Every finish, every piece takes the finish slightly differently. Every piece tells the story of the material that's being worked with, which I adore. I love that. Um, but yeah,
And
all
it's
solid.
also different in the contrasting, obviously, because it's natural. And the same thing with like natural stone, right? It's like a pattern made from nature. So,
Yeah.
um, I think as someone, I love the look of natural wood. I love that look. But
Thank
sometimes
you.
when you go to find furniture, a lot of the times it's like live edge or like
All right.
there's
Yeah.
various ways that people creatively expose the wood. I feel like you've done it in a very sophisticated way that I
Thank
feel
you.
feels still, appeases that need. Here,
Yeah.
this is your rectangular table you were talking about.
Yeah. This is a version of the Monument Grand. Yeah.
I mean, just gorgeous. And the glassware even, I mean, just beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
And this reminds of all your pieces, indoor, outdoor living too, right? That whole idea
Right.
of
Yeah.
living
Yeah.
where
I
we
mean,
talk
these are
about.
not outdoor pieces.
No, they're
Definitely
not.
not
They're
take them
not. But
outside.
it feels like you're extending by the choices of the materials you chose, your
Yeah.
extension to your nod to the outside, right?
Yes. Thank you. That's true. I do think about that a lot. Um, this is the button martini table. I believe the top is 15 inches. So it's a perfect little side drink table, and it's inspired by a button mushroom. I love, personally, I love how the bottom kind of pools almost like it's a liquid that's like kind of collecting at the bottom for the base. This martini, yeah, this little drink table, we had so many prototypes for it because it is solid wood. And so making all the parts of it as thin as we possibly could to reflect that sort of like slight slope and natural curve while maintaining the integrity of the wood took a lot of iterations, but
It
I'm
is the sweetest table. And I know you had a giveaway last year, and
right.
Caduce, she works across the country. She adores this table. And
Oh,
she did
good.
win. So I know we're gonna have a lot more pictures from her on this table.
Yeah,
It's
great.
just a sweet
Yeah.
little spot. And I know you always talked about like making time for yourself, and you could just go into an area where you just carve away that time to yourself. Oh, look, there we go.
Here's one right here. Yeah,
Yeah, it is
I
so
know.
fun.
It's a great little table, super versatile. Oh, I didn't mention this, but we also can do these in reclaimed wood. We do have, I've almost run out now, but I did purchase a large batch of reclaimed wood a few years ago now, but the reclaimed wood versions of these pieces are really incredible. What made me think of it was picking this table up, which is it's a little bit on the, I mean, it's a solid wood table, but the reclaimed wood version of this table, I don't even, I mean, it's twice or three times as heavy because the wood is so dense because it's
Wow.
so old. Um, it just made me think of that. It feels like stone when you're lifting it, but
Wow. And beautiful. Created a little moment
yeah.
in that bathroom there. Yeah. Monument side table.
Yes, these are our monument tables. We offer them in two standard sizes. They nest together really nicely, which is great. So really versatile in a living room. And obviously kind of an impactful profile. And you can see the monument references within the form. And yeah, hand turned solid wood. Again,
I even
walnut.
love these together. Like I really love I think it works too.
Yeah, I love them together too. I even like mixing the finishes like that picture shows.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I would not think to do that when you see it there. Just it's beautiful.
The one on the left is a more casual version, and I think it's our natural white oak. And the one on the right is an image from uh, this past year's Decorator Showcase House. We've been honored to be included a few times in the San Francisco Decorators Showcase. Um, this was Katie Monkhouse's room, which is probably one of my favorites, and she used the monument table. Just beautiful. I love that sofa fabric too.
Yeah,
The sofa
so
she
beautiful.
did was gorgeous. But anyway, yeah, I love the kind of geometry of the side table with the organic, sort of traditional fabric of that sofa. I think she did a beautiful job.
Another sofa that was also at that show house, right? Or was it another show house?
Yes, it's been used.
Yeah.
It was Tina Triggs used it 2 years ago in her primary bedroom, and was thrilled for that. This Adeline sofa is inspired by a very traditional fainting couch, but then reinterpreted for contemporary living. It's very organic in shape, obviously like an asymmetrical camelback. The seat of the sofa is almost kidney bean shaped, not totally, but it's got a slightly deeper on the ends and a little shallower in the middle. Um, Very comfortable. We sold this off the floor of the last event I did. A designer just bought it right off the floor, and it is meant to float in the room if you want, because it's pretty from the back and the sides and the front. Or you can put it up against a wall as well. It's very comfortable. It's great because it's armless, and so just like traffic flows and circulation flows really well. It's people can perch on one end and talk, that way, or perch on the other, or sit in the middle and like watch TV. It's super comfortable.
I feel like
And
you, as a designer who created these pieces, you think about the use cases a lot.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always looking for something or designing for something I'm struggling to find.
Hmm.
Um, I also, you can see the feet are, they're sort of like a take on a more traditional foot. It's like cutting a bun foot and then flipping it in
Hmm.
half is kind of what I did there. And it's got a solid wood platform base too. So, yeah, that's this
Anyone have
gateway
any
hanger.
questions for Lane so far? I just want to see if anybody, we have about like 10 more minutes. So,
Great. We're
again,
moving through. That
feel
will
free
be
to and we are recording this. So we're happy to send you a recording if you don't remember all of the details about any of the pieces, or you remember a question that you didn't get to ask, you have a question you didn't get to ask her on the call, you could always reach out on Instagram or her website. Um, here we go. I think this is the show. Was this at the show house on the left? I think
the right is the show
on the
house.
right with the show house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll customize dimensions, whatever you need.
And obviously performance fabric. I know this for the pets. Um,
If, I mean, it's always customer's own material, so designers can choose that for their clients.
this is probably my fave.
This is a really exciting piece. This one is about to be delivered to our showroom partner, and it is the fig lounge chair, and I love this fabric with this wood. We're kind of doing the final touches. This is a photo from a workroom visit we did yesterday. And yeah, this is sort of the companion piece, maybe a slightly more, it's some of the new pieces that we're working on are inspired by French club chairs, but reimagining for sort of like America, or like, our version of them. I wanted to have the natural wood, sort of the posts, and the comfort. And I feel like this one would look great in a wine country house or in a mountain house in Colorado. I could see it almost like in a plaid or something, or a leather, and but then also in like a study. I don't know. I feel like it's such a versatile piece, and I think if you did like a white linen, it would be at a beach house. Um, yeah, it's super comfortable as well.
I see almost like your signature curves are on there as
I
well.
know, I know. I can't give my workrooms a break. I'm always like, make it curvy.
Love it. Here you are, enjoying the
Yes,
chair.
that was the visit yesterday. I'm obviously very happy with it.
Beautiful.
Oh, these are some new pieces that are in development right now. Kind of going for something a little more funky and contemporary, and then still working with that French club chair, but reimagining the forms. So these will be coming in the next year or so. And we've got some other case goods in production, iterating as well. So. These are our finishes. If anyone out there would like a packet of finishes and more information, we have line cards we can send you, catalog, and just reach out to your local um, showroom. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer them as well. Does anyone have any questions for me today? Um, Happy to offer any more insight or Um,
I
yeah,
think,
no, I think I covered it, honestly.
yeah,
I
you
think,
covered a lot, and I
yeah,
think it was really helpful to have you kind of run through that experience you had as a creator, right? As a furniture designer. And um, I think you've again solved a lot of problems that people are trying to solve. You had a lot of fun. You created these beautiful pieces. Now we get to share it with the world, right? So
that's
we're going to
right.
finally
Yep.
get the message out. Tell us really quickly about, I know that there's people here from Boston, from Atlanta, and from San Francisco. Tell us about the your partners in those spaces. I mean, in those
Yeah.
cities.
Well, we've just recently launched with Paul Plus and Paul Plus in Atlanta and McGeough in Boston. And I know that those are very well-known showrooms to those regions. So designers in those areas should feel very comfortable and probably have great relationships with them. And then we've also just recently in California moved to Studio RSH. So we're now in SoCal and Northern California here in San Francisco with Studio RSH. And Ryan and Kim and Francisco all are incredibly helpful and yeah, anything that they can't answer, they should feel free to reach out to us or put you in touch with us because we are so happy to be working with these incredible showrooms that have these
Ja-
long-standing relationships with the design community. And I'm just honored, honestly, like just
Jared
honored.
has shared. We are super excited. I believe that was our fig chair. So,
That's right. It was. It
yeah.
was.
Yeah, and to our showroom partners, this video is the beginning. Lane is very excited. She wants to come and visit you all, host events, really just get
Yeah.
the design community engaged. I know, at many of the shows, they're very excited about learning the process, being involved in the process, and Lane is welcoming them in to do that. This is a transparent way of building furniture together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's true, Jen. Just a final statement, just because like
yeah.
I'm a designer, like I really get how hard it is sometimes for designers to not just find that piece, but to have someone that you trust, that you work with, who's going to deliver for you and make you look your best for your clients. And I mean, coming from both sides of it, I just really want to be a part of everyone's team because I know how important it is to have good people on your team. And so, yeah, so please think of us that way and let us know if you have any inquiries.
Relationships, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, follow on social if you're not already at Guild and Lane. Gloria, if you could just drop those links in the chat and follow along, reach out at any point. And Lane, thank you so much. I'm always amazed at how generous you are with your talents and your knowledge. And we appreciate you and we're excited to just keep growing this brand. Get the word
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks everyone for coming. I'm so happy to see you here.
right. Thanks,
All right.
everyone. Give a couple minutes just so that Glory can drop all those links in chat and you can pick that up.
Yeah.
All right. Have
Thank
a
you
great
so much. Thank you. Hi, Stacy. Thank you.
happy holidays.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.